This is officially episode 1 of the Vibes of Fiction podcast. And where the idea of the podcast came from, I don't fucking know. But here we are. Eventually, I do want to get like a camera, maybe like a space or something, so I can do like, you know how they be sitting on the cute little couches and like a little loft or something? Yeah, I want my podcast to be having that kind of little uppity, quiet luxury little feel. You get me? But episode 1. First, introducing myself. I'm CeeCee Jones. I am a manga artist. You might have started following me on Instagram because that's where I started documenting my art journey, getting commissions, putting my art in shops like Redbubble, this, that, and the third. And then at some point, I got into self development, and here we are now. And yeah, I'm a artist, pen and ink artist. I do digital art too, but pen and ink artist. That's my strong suit. Um, I'm a writer, content creator, and now I guess designer because I be designing shit, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I be designing shit. I do. Okay, but also I'm a fiction alchemist, and fiction alchemy goes into Vibes of Fiction. Vibes of Fiction is a blog and video series that analyzes and alchemizes fiction. Fiction alchemy is looking deeper within the story, and as I'll say, all stories are a vibration, and the signature vibration is created from the creator itself and from the higher power that they got the idea from. And then that impacts us, the experiencers, because I don't want to just say consume, because I feel like consume deads energy. Like stories flow in one way, and then when you get them, then stories are told through you and not to you. And when you consume, I feel like you stop feeling the flow of at some point of anything that you consume. Okay, but fiction alchemy. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Went off on the tangent there. But fiction alchemy, when I look at a story, the way that it interacts with you, first of all, your interpretation of the story and understanding that one, there's canon things happening, like there's the physical story, there's the structure, the characters, the literal events that happen. But then there's also how you interpret it too personally and how you apply it to your life. And see, a lot of people, they stop at looking at it how it shows up in their life, but they don't apply it though. And that's what fiction alchemy is. Alchemy is the process of transmutation. You're just taking one thing and turning it into something else. And with fiction, you're taking the story and you're integrating it into your life so you can take one area of your life and turn it into whatever you desire it to be. And actually, I have an alchemical tool called Inner Speech Bubble, which of course is back and get soon. Be on the lookout for that. But Inner Speech Bubble, it literally alchemizes the symbol of a speech bubble because I realized in comics, manga, whatever, anything in that space, I realized that speech bubble not only it doesn't just convey author authority, character voice, things of that nature. If you just take the speech bubbles themselves, take away the art, the panels, we're talking blank pieces of paper, nothing but speech bubble and dialogue, and you flip through all of that, those are thoughts, those are beliefs. And all in all, one story is one big vibration that you just embodied because you just read it. It's now in you, you're now that state of consciousness. And to top it off, when you are reading something, you're only reading on the level of consciousness you're at. So this some really big shit, y'all. Cause look and guess. We cuss around here. Just a little. I cuss a little. But with your state of consciousness, like your level, wherever you're at, you can always build upon that, or you can go lower. Like, that's not a stagnant thing. As you grow, as you learn more, you raise your level of awareness. So that's why it's so important to look at a story, not just you read it once, but you got to read it again and again, because each time you read it, you gain more knowledge and you're also a different person. Because now, each time you read it, you're at a new level of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? And these things are very important. But the main thing of episode 1 of the Vibes of Fiction podcast is intimacy versus proximity. I don't know why, but I woke up thinking about this. Okay, when you have a book, movie, or whatever, you have characters who are intimate with each other. Intimate don't have to mean nothing crazy. Get your head out together. Intimacy just means intentionally interlinking your life with another person, or at least that's my definition. But then there's also proximity, where this is actually one of my favorite tropes. Like, I love a good enemies to lovers with forced proximity. Okay, but look, I'm not gonna get into it. But look, proximity, that's when you're enclosed with somebody and now you have to know them. There is no intention of being in this environment with this person, character, or even the situation itself. Normally, with proximity, when it comes to these stories, they typically happen because one is a forced situation. So the circumstances, you already didn't choose that. And then the characters, they're stuck in the circumstances with each other. So they both didn't intentionally want to be in the space to begin with. And now they're in space with somebody they also didn't choose to be with either. That's horrendous if you with the wrong person. But those are the differences between intimacy and proximity. And why is this important? Because you need to think about your self concept this way. Because when you're creating your self concept, you're being intimate with this new version of you, this new idea of you, these new thoughts you're choosing, these new affirmations, this new expanded way of being. You're intentionally choosing it, to know it, to become it, to be one with it. But the you that you are, that is currently giving you the limitations in your life based off of your beliefs, your thoughts, your environment, maybe even the shitty people you know to make everything else shitty. Mind you, they're not the problem, and they're not actually shitty. But that is another episode. That might be episode 2. But you're just in proximity because you're unaware too. Yes, you may think that if you're not new to the personal development, self help space, you might be learning your triggers, your negative beliefs, this, that, and the third. But everything in your physical reality, the 3D, everything around you, this is all created by old belief. Like, it's literally something you believed yesterday, maybe even years ago. And that is why you physically see it now. So when you're trying to become somebody new, that already exists. Like, when you're manifesting something, you're not creating anything with your bare hands. The thing already exists. You are it already. But you are not intimate with that thing just yet. That's why it's not in your reality. And that's why you feel like there's a gap and you have to shift to it. You might even feel like things are slow. Matter of fact, you might even notice that when you're beginning to change your self concept, you are starting to get a little bit of results, but it's not the huge, large goal, overall goal that you're trying to manifest. Like, let's say you want to manifest $100 because you're trying to do this thing, and for some reason you get $8. You might think that, fuck, I still need $100, but no. Since you're beginning to make the shifts, the $1 is monumental. That is the proof that, hey, any of this shit is working. But people get caught up in the number one compared to the number 100, and that throw them off. And that's why it takes so long to manifest the $100 that you want. And that goes with anything. So your old self, you're in close proximity. You're in your enemies, the lovers. And the thing is, you're at the lover's point, which is why everything in your reality you think of it as normal. Some people literally hate their fucking lives. Literally. They despise it. They despise the money they make, the job they have, the people around them, all of that. That's not, but they're comfortable. That's enemy to lovers. That's forced proximity. And it don't have to be that way because you can intentionally be intimate with this new life that you want. So how do we integrate this? Because each Bob's Fiction podcast episode, there will be some alchemy at work. I'm not just gonna give you information. I'm just not gonna just take your ear off. I'm gonna give you something you can apply, some formula you can use, some tool, something. You leaving here with something in my Denzel voice. Okay. But how can you integrate intimacy versus proximity? Detach from what is in proximity to you. If it's not what you want, it's not of you. You now need to live in the end. And for the longest, Neville Goddard, all of them, they be saying this all the time when it comes to manifestation, law of assumption, law of attraction, all of that. Living in the end, for the longest, I kept thinking, oh, that means you need to make a scene, visualize that scene, and just keep doing that over and over. Like how people put in the reps to do sit-ups or push-ups or something. That's how you need to be imagining the scene. But I come to find out that quite literally isn't it. Because living in the end, meaning you got to build a life in that space. That's another thing that is the difference between intimacy versus proximity. When you're intimate with something, you're intentionally choosing to live with that thing, to thrive with it, to know it. But when you're in proximity, you're surviving. You're not actually living. You're getting by. You exist. You're automated. Hell, you AI, but not even evolving AI. You're just simply a thing. So you're just a thing that's doing the same things all day, every day, and that's it. You don't want to be that. That's not what you want. If you're listening to me, you want something the fuck else. 9 times out of 10. I know I got shit I want, and I'm gonna get that shit. Okay, but look, okay, so you have to detach from the things that are in proximity to you that is not the thing that you want. That's no longer of you. We already came to the conclusion that this is something manifested from old beliefs. Like something you believed yesterday is the only reason why it's physical today. Or maybe you thought this years ago, but you first set the attention in the past. Is so the stuff around you is no longer in the present. This is in the present moment. So when you want to create something new, when you want to be a new version of you, you now have to be intimate with everything that comes with that version. Like there was this girl on TikTok, and she's so good at talking about manifestation. But she broke it down like this: like when you're living in the end, let's what's a good example? Let's say you want your house to smell really nice, but it don't because you got like a dog or something. Okay, but living in the end, imagine imagine people come in and be like, "Oh my god, your house smells so good." You walk in from work and think, "Oh my god, I'm so glad to be home. I love how my home smells." And you do this all the time, anytime that you're in your house, even when the dog run around, you don't like how everything smells. It don't matter. You're still in your mind thinking, "Oh my god, look at little Rover run around. I know he loves this new vanilla." You know what I'm saying? Like that's living an in. That's you becoming a new version of yourself. Like it might have been a my mic is tripping and I don't know why. And that's like rule number one to any podcast. But I don't care because we're gonna. Okay, my bad, y'all. I had to switch my mic and shit because it died on me. And that's honestly never happened before because I normally keep them towards. I haven't had them that long. I haven't made that many videos using my actual voice because normally with my art videos and stuff, it's either nothing but words or I just draw. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't be talking. Speaking of which, this has nothing to do with the podcast episode, but this is a disclaimer since this is episode one. I do not have a fucking faceless channel. I know I make look like that. I have faceless content, but the little animated version of me, it literally looked like me. And I'm not hiding. I'm literally on all my pages, maybe not on YouTube just yet, because that's new. But on all my pages, you can literally fucking see me. Okay, it's not faceless. The face has been revealed. Okay, but anyway, you need to be intimate with the end that you desire. You need to be, you don't have to be obsessed with it unless you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless that's your particular integration style when you're trying to shift into a new version of you. But otherwise, it's supposed to feel normal when you are shifting into this new person. Yes, it's new and exciting first, but haven't you noticed that even listening to this right now, you're breathing calmly, you're existing, you might be having a cup of coffee, you might be working out, but you're just doing normal shit. Like you don't feel like, oh my god, I'm doing something so crazy. Yes, there are moments like that in life, but most of the time you just feel like, oh, okay, my reality just is what it is. And you can love your reality. You can love your calm, your normal. That's all you're doing when you are changing your self concept. You are making a new normal. Simple as that. So you need to be intimate with, because a lot of people think self concept is just like a bunch of affirmations and like subliminals. It's fucking not that. Like for example, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell y'all one of the things I'm manifesting, which is I want inner people to be fucking everywhere because it's a bomb ass thought rewiring technique. And at first I was thinking, oh, sounds kind of crazy because the point of it, the not the point, but one of the main steps in inner speech bubble, because it's 6 steps, you tap into a fictional character. And at first I was in my head thinking, fuck, do it sound like do I sound crazy? Does it sound like I'm leading people to shifting and shit like that? Not saying shifting ain't real, but I'm saying I'm not trying to have you in Hogwarts just because I'm telling you this happened to Harry Potter. Neville Goddard himself say all the time that all the characters in the Bible are a state of consciousness personified so we can understand it in our human brains and naturally take on that state of consciousness with little to no effort. And that's exactly what Inner Speech Bubble is doing. And that's teaching you to be intimate with creating your inner dialogue. Because a lot of people think their thoughts happen to them, not that they can control or create them, but you're in the driver's seat. You always are. If you put yourself in the passenger seat, and this, matter of fact, this is goes into one of my favorite movie scenes recently because I've seen Fight Club for, I watched it twice now. First, I watched it by myself, and then I showed it to my mom because she had, it's a dope ass movie she's never seen before, and I needed somebody else to know. But when it comes to Fight Club, there's a scene where Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, they're in the car, okay, and they're driving hella fucking fast down the wrong way in the street, I think. And Brad Pitt, he's in the driver's seat. Edward Norton, he's the main character. He is in the passenger seat. And for the longest, they're low key arguing over the steering wheel because Brad Pitt isn't fucking driving. His foot is on the gas pedal, but he's not steering. And Edward's losing his fucking mind because he's like, dude, you're gonna kill us both. Like, what are we doing? And Brad Pitt, his character, he's like, you gotta let go of fear. If you don't let go of fear, that's when you're gonna get fucking hit. Like, that is gonna be the car accident, not being in the car and not steering. Because you can go with the flow in life and have complete trust and faith that you're going to get to where you want to go, wherever that is. But Edward Norton's character, he started to let go initially, but then he just fucking couldn't. And then they crashed. And then the movie continues, blah, 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 blah. But lots of people, that's what the fuck they're doing in their head when it comes to their thoughts and their beliefs in general. They think they're in the passenger seat and the car is being driven by somebody else. First of all, Brad Pitt's character, he is a state of consciousness. I'm not for sure if I want to say this man isn't real at fucking all, but he is Edward Norton. Like, that's the whole point of the movie. Spoilers. I'm so sorry. Still, watch Fight Club though, because me saying this, I promise you, you're not gonna fully encapsulate like what I'm talking about until you see it. Like, you won't know because it's that surreal of a movie. But Brad Pitt's character, he's a fucking character in the movie. That man low key do not exist. So who's driving the car isn't is not somebody taking control of the wheel. Nobody's taking over Edward Norton's mind. That's not actually what's happening because Brad Pitt isn't even real. He put himself in that position. He is driving the car. His hands might not be physically on the steering wheel, but he set everything in motion. And that's what you're doing in your life. You just be believing shit and letting it just go by the wayside. Like, you don't take any steps towards looking inward or changing anything or taking any risks. That is what's happening. And look, I'm not one to always be talking because this podcast, this is fucking risky behavior because talking is so hard on me. I had to rewire so many beliefs around this to be at this point because it's literally before it was insanity. Okay? But you got to be intimate with your thoughts, your beliefs as this new person. Whatever new self you're being, it's not even a concept anymore. It's simply you. Concept, the word concept, you think of it as an abstract idea of something, but it's not. When you're actually living in, like, let's say you want princess treatment. I see that's a big self concept thing on YouTube. Let's say you want princess treatment. A good way of living in the inn. Imagine when you're, let's say you're about to walk to the bathroom, to the kitchen, and you about to open the door. Imagine somebody opens the door for you. And imagine that every time you're about to go through any door. And watch how people are just going to be running to open the door for you in real life when you go out to other places. That's your princess treatment. That's what happens when you live in an inn. You just get to walk through VIP. Like, you get to be like Rihanna. Rihanna always have somebody like opening doors, her in her hand, the ends of her dress. That's real princess treatment because she tuned in and tapped the fuck in. And we gotta be like Rihanna. You gotta be like Rihanna if you want princess treatment. And that starts with creating that first understanding what princess treatment means to you because everybody can be a pretty princess. I don't care who you look like, shape, sizes, genders, they, thems. It don't even matter. We can all have princess treatment if we want it. What I'm saying, you can't get that until you first understand that concept itself. You first need to design what that looks like for you. And the best way to design anything is writing. Write all that shit out. All the things that means, the kind of beliefs that you have. Truly design it. That's the fiction out to me. When you are writing shit down, You're creating the story that you're about to believe, and it's about to be integrated in your life immediately. Okay, but after you decide on the subconcept itself, then you live in. That's being intimate, and you do not care about your circumstances. Like, yes, shit is happening, but that shit isn't of you. That isn't you anymore. You gotta stop identifying with that, because in these books where characters are forced together by proximity, like in enemies to lovers, for the longest they are detached. There's so much angst, there's so much stress and strife because they never think of this situation or this person as of them, because they're not. They're enemies at first. So it takes a while for them to become intimate with the situation, the circumstances, and whoever they're in proximity to. And you see this a lot in like found family stories where like a band of misfits come from all walks of life, but now they're the closest tight knit group ever and you love them down. Yeah, that's what happens when you become intimate with something that you weren't initially. Not all stories end that way. Some people are just gonna resent everything around them because they never become intimate with it. But with that being said, if you're creating a new self and you're trying to have a new normal, detach. You don't have to have any resentment. You don't have to feel like all the shit happening around you is evil, but you got to let it go. And you have to decide that it isn't you because you are this new thing. Okay. That's how you integrate. That's how you live it in. And matter of fact, we can use another example from one of my favorite podcasters, Lewis Howes. Y'all might watch him. Matter of fact, you should watch him. But he was talking about his now fiance because he just proposed to her. I think he was talking about how before he met his fiance, right wing met her, she decided she was gonna manifest her soulmate slash partner, which is him now. But she was gonna manifest that person for her, and she was talking to somebody, and she was about to buy like a bed or whatever. And that person said to her, "Okay, well, if you about to manifest this man in your life, how tall is he?" She's like, "Oh, he's like 6 foot or something like that." So now the person was like, "Okay, you need to get like a king size bed." And she was like, "But I'm alone. I don't need a king size bed." And then the person was like, "It don't matter. If you are living in the reality where you have this man who's 6 foot, he need a king size bed, don't he? And to top it off, you need to sleep on one side of the bed because to make space for him. That's how you live in a fucking inn." I don't know how long she was sleeping on one side of the bed alone, but it didn't matter because look who engaged. Yeah. If y'all want to be engaged, that's the type of shit you got to be on. Okay? You got to keep it real and you got to be pushing P. You do. That's how you create this new, and her self concept would have to, a good example would be she's not a wife, or I am in a power couple kind of relationship. Like that is the concept of that. And look at them now. Yeah, they be eating the fuck down. They be working together. We love Lewis and them. Okay, but you see what I'm saying? That's living in the end. That's being intimate and not caring about what is in your proximity. Because she had to not care about the fact that, oh, there really is no man in this bed with me, or I'm short and little, I don't actually fit in this bed. She couldn't think of none of that. She had to detach from what's in proximity to her to assume the new concept of being in a relationship and what the version of her looked like when she is being romantic and this, that, and the third. And it's the same for literally anything you want in life, whether there's more money, a car, maybe you just want another cat. Like, I don't know. Like, it depends on what you want because you can quite literally want anything. And if you study people like Lewis, like Neville Goddard, if you're reading any of their works, watching any of these videos, Look at their life. They're all drastically different people with drastically different shit and drastically different eras of literally America. So with that being said, it doesn't matter what you want. Like you can literally have anything. You just can't have everything. Everything, you don't want everything. Like for example, let's say you want a car and you need it to be a Mercedes Benz AMG, like one of them, and you want the seats to be like blue or some shit. Okay, that's what you want. You are not looking to all these other cars. You don't want a Kia. What the fuck can the Kia do for you? Absolutely nothing. You don't want a Kia. You don't want a little Toyota. You don't even want a Lambo. You want your AMG. That's your car. You can have your car. Matter of fact, it's in your driver right now. Matter of fact, look to the left of you. Your keys are sitting right next to you. Yeah, that's your car. Matter of fact, you have the manual in your drawer. Go look. That's your AMG. So you can literally have anything you want. You can have that car. But you don't want every single car that ever exists in this life. You don't want every car. That's what people mean when they say you can have anything, but you can't have everything. It's not saying you can't get what you want or you can't want a lot of shit, but you actually don't want everything. You want what you want. And that's okay. It's like, I don't know if y'all have a hibachi grill. I'm from St. Louis. I don't know if y'all have a hibachi grill, but when I go to hibachi grill every purple moon, I get a couple things on my plate. Maybe I eat two, three times. Okay, yeah, I'm greedy. Okay, but you get to be like that hibachi, I feel. Okay, but it's a buffet place. It's actually tons of options I can have, but I choose what I'm going to eat. And top it off, I have a tree nut allergy, meaning I can't chew shit with tree nuts. On top of, I'm not going to chew shit that I don't want, meaning I can literally have anything in the place, but I don't want everything in the place. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Um, we're at the end of the episode, but look, I don't know what episode 2 is gonna be, and I don't know how regular this is. This is monthly. I do want to do like maybe an episode every 2 weeks or once a month. I don't know. I'm still learning podcasting. I don't even know how I'm gonna upload this as we speak, but it don't fucking matter because I am building the sub concept of a creative business owner, creative studio. RC vibes in the fucking building. But no, but okay, but being a creatorpreneur, I realized for 2025 on the podcast, I never had the idea before until literally like fucking yesterday when I wrote out all the things I wanted to be in this year. And I was like, oh, will that pop up? And look at me now. Episode fucking 1, baby. We're here. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, this is what it looks like when you're building your sub concept. This is what happens when you're being intimate because when I was doing the writing, I got intimate with the feeling, what it would be like, what my schedule, how it would be tweaked to make this podcast happen. And look at me just manifest it now because I'm actually recording it. And there you have it. It took a day. Now what? Your turn. Okay, so intimacy versus proximity. Be intimate with a new you. Don't give a fuck about what's in proximity to you if it's not that. It's not of you anymore. These things or things. You're not the house, you're in a house. Okay. Meaning you got to get rid of the shame, the guilt, all the negative shit that comes with you identifying with the house that you hate, that you're in, and move into a new version of you that's in a place that you want to be at. Okay. And that is the formula for today. And I guess that's the end of episode 1 of Vibes of Fiction. And peace. I will have a new episode out soon.